You never know what you're going to find hidden in the frozen tundras of the world. Welcome to World Top List, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 scary things found frozen in ice. For this list, we'll be looking at many creepy, unsettling, or bizarre things that have been found frozen and preserved in ice.
We are standing in the middle of the melting Vatna Glacier, and scattered all throughout this glacier are massive vertical sinkholes that are treacherous. They go hundreds, even thousands of feet into the earth.
We don't know whether this is spectacular or a little terrifying. Vatna Glacier is the second largest glacier in Europe, covering half the country. It's quite a famous glacier and has been seen in many pieces of pop culture throughout the years, including Game of Thrones and the James Bond film A View to a Kill. Beneath the glacier are massive ice caves, with ceilings and walls that look like giant waves frozen in time. They're actually formed by geothermal springs. Surreal, gorgeous, but also kind of unsettling. Talk about feeling trapped.
Jutting from the ice, the head and bare shoulders of a human corpse. His left arm twisted under his body. Leathery skin still covering his bones.
ÖTZI is perhaps the most famous natural mummy in the world. Found in 1991 on the border of Austria and Italy, ÖTZI is the naturally mummified corpse of a man who died around 3300 BC. German tourists actually found the mummy. They were hiking along a mountain path in the Ötztal Alps when they found the upper half of the mummy sticking out of the ice. The man is believed to have bled to death after being hit by an arrow. His slim, discolored, and leathery body is now on display at South Tyrol Museum of Archaeology in Italy.
It's very interesting to understand also the past and where we came from and how they already were able to adapt to the environment, how they managed to live, and without all these modern technologies we have and so on.
In recent years, archaeologists have found pyramids all over the world that had been lost for centuries, mistaken as natural formations, or hidden in the most unlikely places.
In 2016, a mysterious pyramid-like structure was photographed in Antarctica. Some people speculated that humans once resided there and built pyramids akin to the Egyptians, while conspiracy theorists straight away blamed aliens. Even though we knew that the explanation was going to be boring, it was still creepy. Turns out the pyramid was just a peak of a buried mountain sticking out of the snow. We guess this is still kinda cool, but not as cool as an ancient Antarctic society. As University of California's Eric Rignot said hilariously, this is a mountain that looks like a pyramid.
If this gigantic pyramid in Antarctica is an artificial structure, it would probably be the oldest pyramid on our planet.
Rather than just small shards of bone eroded out of the rock, they started finding large, intact skeletons.
Some of the earliest dinosaur bones have been found at the Antarctic. It turns out that many dinosaurs have been discovered in the frozen tundra. The first was discovered in 1986 by Argentinians Eduardo Olivero and Roberto Scasso. These bones were discovered on James Ross Island, as well as those of a Tyrannosaurus. Other dinosaurs found in Antarctica include the Glacialosaurus and the megabeast Cryolophosaurus. It's not as if these dinosaurs roamed an icy expanse. Antarctica, as we know it, was first formed about 25 million years ago, long after the dinosaurs were extinct. In the past, it was a part of Gondwana, a great supercontinent, and was actually fairly tropical.
And although it may look harmless enough, this ice could be hiding a deadly secret: cryogenically preserved bacteria and viruses that could be hundreds of thousands of years old.
A startling discovery was made in 2005 by scientists digging in the Arctic permafrost of Alaska. They found ancient bacteria that had been completely frozen in the ice for roughly 32,000 years. To make matters even creepier, this bacteria came back to life after being thawed, with astrobiologist Richard Hoover claiming they immediately started swimming when the ice melted. According to NASA, this made the bacteria the first fully described, validated species ever found alive in ancient ice. The extremophiles are now known as Carnobacterium pleistocenium, and they are absolutely terrifying. They came back to life after 30,000 years. In 2016 and 2017, people around the world were alarmed to see massive holes appear in Antarctic ice. These holes were located in the Weddell Sea, and one hole covered an area of 31,000 square miles, roughly the size of Maine. There's a big hole there. It's a polynya, which is a hole of open water in the middle of sea ice. Even though scientists knew what the hole was, they did not know how it got there, as polynyas are typically found near coasts. Known as the Weddell polynya, it hadn't been seen since 1976. This was likely caused by a strong winter cyclone.
Blood falls is a bit of an obsession for a lot of people. I mean, there's nothing else like this on Earth.
It's like this really visceral feature just jumps out at you.
Antarctica must be the place of nightmares if any of this list proves anything. You can see what looks like blood dripping from a glacier on the surface of Lake Bonny. Blood falls make its way off Taylor Glacier and into Lake Bonny. Griffith Taylor, a noted Australian geologist, discovered the falls in 1911, hence Taylor Glacier. When Taylor presumably freaked out, he attributed the blood to red algae. It was a good guess, but the blood is actually just iron oxide tainted saltwater. It's basically rusty water pouring from a glacier. Still terrifying, though.
In December 2016, a remote community in Siberia experienced a mysterious outbreak. 90 people were hospitalized and a 12-year-old boy died.
The biggest fear of global warming is that unknown pathogens may be released into the air, some of which may be dangerous to humans. Researchers from China and the United States drilled a 164-foot hole into the Galia ice cap in Tibet in 2015 to study samples. Despite the fact that they had never seen viruses before, they managed to find no less than 33 different types of viruses, 28 of which were completely unknown to humans. In the opinion of environmental virologist Chantal Burgel, we are far from sampling the entire diversity of viruses on Earth. That should be concerning considering 28 viruses have been detected in the Tibetan glacier alone.
Scientists worry that as permafrost melts, it could unearth all sorts of diseases we thought we had under control.
During World War I, the Allies fought the Austro-Hungarian Empire along the snowy mountains of the Alps. In the early 2010s, the mountain glaciers began to melt and left behind long-lost frozen artifacts around the area. Thousands upon thousands of soldiers were killed by avalanches and frigid temperatures below -22 Fahrenheit. Among them were weapons, still legible love letters, and dozens of mummified bodies. It is a horrifying symbol of one of the most frightening periods of modern history. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified our latest videos.
On with full power. We lost the left engine! Let it roll.
A military transport plane carrying 52 people crashed in Alaska's Chugach Mountains in November 1952. Rescuers were sent to look for the aircraft, and its tail was found sticking out of snow on Mount Gannett at an elevation of 8,000 feet. When rescue efforts couldn't cut through heavy snow to find the wreckage, they abandoned the rescue efforts. The wreckage remained dormant for 60 years. On a training mission in June 2012, the Alaska National Guard discovered a survival raft attached to the Alaska National Guard's plane near Colony Glacier. The area of the crash was investigated after that, revealing the nearby wreckage.